Hey, what is going on, you doodle Dunsparce? Today, gonna be playing some Umbreon VMAX, but that's it. It's just Umbreon VMAX. It's our only attacker. I mean, I guess we could attack with Houndoom or Crobat, but generally, we're only attacking with the Umbreon V or the VMAX in most games. So I was trying this out the other day on the stream. By the way, if you don't follow the stream, first link in the description, twitch.tv/AzulGG. I stream every day except Tuesdays. So you can catch me over there live, playing some PTCGO, and soon, PTCG Live. But yeah. 4/4 Umbreon, main attacker with the Moonlight Blade on the Umbreon V, and then we got the Max Darkness on the Umbreon VMAX. And the main strength of the Umbreon VMAX, of course, is its ability, the Dark Signal. And that's when we put it into play, we can gust up one of our opponent's bench Pokemon to their active, and then now that's their new active Pokemon. So that's theoretically what we want to be hitting. We don't have to use the ability, so if we'd rather hit their active, we just don't use the ability, and we can still evolve and hit with Max Darkness, or not evolve, and then hit with that Moonlight Blade. So we don't actually have a very high damage cap. We only can we kind of max out at 220 most of the time. We can get to like 240, but being able to do 240 damage doesn't really make a difference. Like 220 is like the number to hit. We're 2-hit KOing all the VMAXs, and we're hit 1-hit KOing all the Vs. So 220 is the number we can get to pretty reasonably with triple single strike energy, on the Umbreon V or the Umbreon VMAX. And then the rest of it's just kind of straight consistency from there. We got the 4 Evolution Incense. We're able to capture energy, which is really nice. And if it's really, really well with Umbreon, better than most cards, because it has a dark double colorless energy cost. So we can even put 2 captures energy on the Umbreon VMAX and have it still work, like turn to turn, have it still kind of work out, and not kind of have us need an extra energy all of a sudden on there, because 2 colorless energy for the attack, both attacks actually, the Moonlight Blade and the Max Darkness. So capture energy is extremely efficient in this deck, which is always really nice because the card is so strong when it does work. And then, of course, 4 Money, 4 Research, like I said, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Evolution Incense, a couple switch cards here, got a couple Air Balloon, a switch, 4 Tower of Darkness, of course, because we are a single strike deck. Get that extra draw power. Also gives us a counter stadium to stuff like Path to the Peak, which is really nice. 1 Ordinary Rod, just in case stuff get weird and we have like a weird research or something like that, or our opponent kind of targets down our Houndooms. That can also be something that happens. They KO our Dowers or our Dooms, and we want to get those back, so we have that Ordinary Rod in there for that. And then we do play 2 Tool Scrapper, mainly for the Suicune and Zacian matchups, because those are the matchups where they got those Capes of Toughness, right? And I don't play Tool Jammer in here because we play these Sun and Moon Badge, which is kind of like the gimmick of the deck, if you would. So when this is attached to an Umbreon or an Espeon, whenever our opponent places a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to that Pokemon. So if I put a Sun and Moon Badge on my Umbreon, and then I attack with it, and then they hit my Umbreon, and then I retreat the Umbreon to the bench with the Sun and Moon Badge, my opponent can no longer boss up and take that knockout. So if they're playing something like a Snipe deck, like a Jolteon or a Rapid Strike Urshifu, they'll still be able to get access to those prize cards. But against every other deck that kind of has to 2-hit KO my Umbreon VMAXs, get the Sun and Moon Badge on there, hit with our Umbreon VMAX, they hit us back, and then we retreat. And a lot of decks do play Tool Scrapper now, but they have to find the Tool Scrapper and the boss as soon as possible before they aren't able to get access to those prize cards that they set up by hitting it in the first place. So it's been very powerful in some situations. Of course, like I said, there's a lot of decks that do sniping right now, so it's not as good against those, but we don't just lose those matchups anyways. We can still definitely beat, the Jolteons and the Urshifus of the format. But yeah, I think that's all I want to say about the list. So let's go ahead, let's get into some games and see if we can't get some cool Sun and Moon Badge plays. All right, getting into our first one, we did mulligan, unfortunately, and our opponent is going first, so we will be going second, which never feels actually too bad with this deck, I feel like, because it gives us like that extra turn, or potentially extra draw supporter to work with on our first turn to help us find Houndours or, energy for turn, whatever it might be. It doesn't ever feel that bad to be going second with this deck, to be honest. Definitely feels better than most. Got the Guru Star for my opponent, so probably one of those Zacian decks, and that's why we play the double Tool Scrapper, is for basically this matchup in Suicune. And then, there's other stuff like Elemental Badge and Jolteon. A lot of decks play Air Balloon, so we can always get value out of it in other matchups. But the Zacian deck is super popular right now, still. And, oh, nope, that's a Remoraid. So it looks like we're actually up against a Sylveon deck here. Which actually, the thing we really want to focus down in this matchup, if they play it, is that Urshifu. It really does depend on if they play it. Not every build plays the Urshifu, but we do want to focus on that Urshifu for the sake of them not having access to anything to snipe our bench dudes when they have the Sun and Moon badge on them on the bench. But our opponents are on pretty well here so far, and they're gonna retreat to the Sylveon and then Dream Gift. And yeah, we are going to Marnie. So They won't have that specific card in their hand, but we are giving them +2 cards overall, or maybe even +3 basically. If this card in their hand, the other card in their hand is just kind of dead. But we'll get a decent read on what this card in their hand is. If they go for an Evolution Incense off the Sylveon, then that means they need to get Remoraid to get the Karina's Focus. But if they go for an Energy Search, then they probably have like a Draw Supporter, or maybe already have that. Artillery in the hand. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and quick ball away Ordinary Rod. Grab the Umbreon, and then I'm gonna quick ball away a Switch. And one thing I will check here on this search real fast is just how many single strike energy. Okay, we have all 4, so it's something important to take note of. And I'm not going to play the Tool Scrapper yet because they probably play the Sylveon's Tool card, which I definitely want to be able to remove that over something like this Air Balloon in play. So I'm going to save that for later. The draw is okay. Go ahead and Tower of Darkness away. Actually, I'm going to capture out a Dower first, I think. I do expect my active Houndour to get knocked out here, and then get rid of the single strike energy. Draw 2. Okay, we're really set up well for the next turn. We're really looking good. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass from here. Don't really see a need to do anything else. We use the quick ball on the next turn to get another Umbreon V. So yeah, go ahead and pass over to my opponent. Let's see what they're able to accomplish here. I mean, they definitely could get. It's like possible. It is unlikely. They could boss KO my Umbreon V here. I don't expect it to happen. It is possible. But they would have to have, I mean, with a 3-card hand now, maybe it isn't possible. Maybe it was never possible, actually. Well, if the badge was the evolution, and this was a basic, and this was an energy, and this was a basic, and that was a boss. Okay, I guess it was possible. But now at this point, it's not possible. With the ribbon out and the Tower of Waters out, I don't think it's possible anymore. So we should be in a pretty good spot from here on out. To kind of set up, do our thing. And yeah, our opponent's going to be doing their thing. Here comes that turn 2 Sylveon VMAX, which can be really scary. With the potential to kind of one-hit KO anything in the active as long as they go first. And yeah, they're going to get rid of my Houndour here, but it's just a Houndour, so not too concerned with just losing a Houndour. And we're hoping our top deck is quick ballable. Or it is just, if it's just the Umbreon V, I guess that's also fine. Like, I'll just bench the Umbreon V then. Don't mind it working out that way. And then we're going to go ahead and hit the active of my opponents. We're hoping for a VMAX, though, because we don't want this thing to get KO'd. And then that's where we try and get the whole Sun and Moon badge shenanigans working. And then we did get the Sun and Moon badge. I almost don't want to put it down yet because my opponent probably plays a Tool Scrapper. But they might not. But if they Marnie us, then we might never see it ever again. So I probably should just go ahead and throw it down. And then go ahead and hit with that Max Darkness, 180. So we set up the 2-hit KO here. And then, yeah, we're going to look for that Tool Scrapper next turn. We do play 2 of them. We know one of them is in the deck. I didn't check all my prize cards. So the other one might not be in the deck, to be honest. But we're going to go ahead and hope it is. And then we can Evolution Incense out another Umbreon VMAX here. We're going to be able to retreat. And then that Sun and Moon badge will be in play. And it'll be saying, you can't boss it up, which is great. And that's exactly what we want. Yeah, see what our opponent does here, and then we have to choose between the Research and the Marnie. There goes an Urshifu, which I said, it wants to actually kind of be our focus. If we can, we do want to kind of focus down Urshifus if they make their way into play. But it looks like my opponent's not. I mean, they haven't put a V into play yet. There's the V. We do want to kind of take that out because the V is really scary. It's really scary because that'll allow them to snipe my Umbreon VMAX, right? So we don't want them to have that as a possibility. So we do want to go chase that this next turn because they're going to hit us here for, I don't know, a lot of damage, right? They're going to hit us for 220. But if we run to the bench and they can't boss us, the only thing they can do is snipe us. They can't snipe us with Sylveon. They can't snipe us with Moltres. They can't snipe us with Rangaroo. They can't snipe us with Artillery. They can snipe us with that Urshifu VMAX. So this is going to be our target on the next turn. We're going to have to get triple single strike out. Ooh, Escape Rope. But I can just always send up a Houndoom here. If I send up this, it gets KO. But sending up a Houndoom seems fine. So let's send up. Yeah, let's send up a Houndoom. I'm not too sad about this one, actually. That seems fine to me. I'm fine with this for sure, I feel like. There we go, Max Harmony knockout. It is going to be a little bit harder to set up triple single strike energy, dude. But we can still do it. We can still bring up that Urshifu. Actually, it might not be possible to look for this turn. I'm going to get rid of both those. Air Balloon. Yeah, might not be a great idea to try and look for it this turn. At which point do I even want to do that? Because we have one single strike energy in the deck. We could get the Urn. We'd have to get into the single strike energy and then earn another one and then pull that one out. Then I maybe just want to keep the Gust effect around. So I shouldn't even play that, actually. I should have just kept the Evolution Instance in the deck, to be honest. So then play the Marnie seems like the best course of action. They got a 6-card hand. We can make it a little bit smaller. Why not make it smaller, right? 1, We got the single strike energy, got the Urn, got the Umbreon. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that works. Sometimes you draw well. So let's do it. Do this. Yes, bring up the Urshifu. Because like I said, that wants to be our target for these kind of situations. Yeah, when we draw well enough, may as well take advantage of it. We don't have a, what's it called on this one? We don't have that Sun and Moon badge there. So we do want to get that out eventually. Yeah, max darkness for the KO here. See what we get off these prize cards. Evolution Incense. We would have loved to got down another Umbreon V. Ooh, the Sun and Moon badge. That's a big one because this means we can now retreat this Umbreon V Max to the bench. And then, yeah, I mean, we'll retreat to the bench. I maybe didn't have to throw out the Tower of Darkness yet because this does give my opponent an opportunity to counter my Tower of Darkness. Which I don't really want to give them the opportunity to do that, to be honest. I don't want to give them an opportunity to counter my Tower of Darkness. And then, because then I don't have a way to draw cards out of the hand. So I maybe shouldn't have thrown this in play yet. Even though it gets rid of their stadium, they still have something that has free retreat cost here, which is this Oranguru. So probably putting this in play was incorrect, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably incorrect to put this in play. Now I could get stuck. If they get their second stadium, they're going to throw it out there for sure. Why not? They have pivot set up. May as well counter my stadium so I can't utilize it. So they'll definitely counter my stadium. And then I just have no draw power on this turn. But if I get like something off the top deck or off the prize cards like this Evolution Incense now that I can use to get a Umbreon VMAX or a Houndour, discard that, draw some cards, I could have guaranteed had the Tower of Darkness in my hand. And if they Marnie me, we're seeing new cards anyway, so we're kind of fine that we didn't put it in play before that. But yeah, we'll see. We will definitely see. All right, no Urshifu coming down, so we don't have to worry about Urshifu again, which is great for us because that's like what we were a little bit worried about before. And they're actually even hitting us with the Sylveon VMAX. Which is perfect. That's 3 prize cards. We're going to be able to knock this out, get 3 prize cards this turn. Like, that is insane. And then we're 1 prize card away from winning, which means you just need to set up some kind of gust effect, which our deck is very good at doing, by the way. Our deck is very good at setting up gust effects. Okay, we top decked a Houndoom. So now I'm just going to go ahead and do that and just draw 2 cards. Capture, quick ball. Okay, so put the capture here. Go ahead and grab myself an Umbreon V. Then I could retreat to this one. And then go ahead and I could quick ball away the Sun and Moon badge and go ahead and get myself another Umbreon V. So that way we have 2 Umbreon Vs in play. And I don't really care if they boss this. We'll get another Umbreon V. And then we have Umbreon VMAX in the deck. So we knock out this, and the next turn we can get a VMAX, and then we just win the game. So looks like we got this one locked up. And this is what I was talking about. Like, I mean, we could have put the Sun and Moon badge on this bench one, but then if they have an Urshifu VMAX on their side of the field, they can snipe it, right? But if we have the Sun and Moon badge, they can't boss it. So then if we take out their Urshifu, Sun and Moon, but now we're ahead in the prize trade, so the Sun and Moon badges don't matter as much. They're kind of like a safety net for when we fall behind, more so than anything. But now that we're ahead, the Sun and Moon badges don't really matter, so we quick ball the Sun and Moon badge away. And now we just set up double Umbreon V. We don't guarantee checkmate our opponent with this play, but if we just go 1 Umbreon V, then they could go like, you know, fresh Sylveon VMAX, boss KO the Umbreon, and then I could whiff a Gust Effect next turn, and then they could go boss this on the next turn, win the game, or even the Houndour at that. Actually, no, because it's only worth 2 prize cards. So we could have put the Sun and Moon badge here and only benched 1, but it doesn't really make a whole ton of sense. There's the Tool Scrapper for my opponent, so they did have some outs to our Sun and Moon badges, but we're still in such a good spot at this point that I think we got this one locked up. That's really why I want to focus down that Urshifu, because it can take multiple prize cards in a turn. They could even go with like a Sylveon VMAX, hit 2 Umbreon VMAXs of mine, and then Urshifu KO both of them on like, you know, a following turn, and they get 6 prize cards in a turn. So once again, in this matchup, you guys really want to make sure you focus down the Urshifus. They are a huge deal, a huge annoyance. So you got to make sure you KO the Urshifus, and if you do, it's going to be way harder for the Sylveon player to keep up in the prize exchange. Unless he gets to like some early one-hit KOs with the VMAX on the Umbreon Vs, but our opponent didn't have it this game, so yeah, nothing for us to really worry about. Here comes an Urshifu, but it's a little bit too late on this one, and yeah, we're going to have that boss KO. I mean, we can KO whatever we want. To be honest, we can KO this, we can KO this, and they're actually attacking with the Blaziken here with the high jump kick. But yeah, this one is all over because we got the boss. We had the Evolution Incense in the hand, and the reason we want to keep the Air Balloon around as well is because, like, no matter what, if they tried to boss stall something, we'd have the Air Balloon to make sure we could move. But yeah, KO this Oranguru, get a pretty clean dub over the Sylveon. Once again, take care of those Urshifus early on, and you won't regret it later. All right, getting into another one, and this hand is a perfect example of why we run that ordinary route, because look at this, double Umbreon VMAX, only draw support is a research. We could try and like Tower of Darkness first, but we definitely want to try and Tower of Darkness after we would research. It just gives us that much more flexibility with what we want to discard, and like if we even want to discard anything, and we don't want to like draw into more Umbreon VMAX and then research them anyway. So like we could try and find a Marnie, but it's like pretty unlikely that we'd find one. So yeah, definitely just gonna put it out into play. Play the research, and we're up against the ZacZam deck. This is why we play those double tool scrappers, is because those capes of toughness, man, they play 4 of them. It's a lot of capes of toughness. Capture energy top deck. Now this makes me want to actually discard an Umbreon a little bit, because getting this on an Umbreon V off the start would be so good. So I think I am going to discard one and draw 2. Did not draw. We did draw the ordinary rod. At least we got it right now. We can use it. But I definitely want to try and get energy on Umbreon V, so I'm not going to attach this capture to the Houndour. I will play the Evolution Instance to take a quick look through the deck, though. We only have 2 other Umbreons left. That should be all we need, though. We do need to use quite a few Umbreon Vs, or we do need to use Umbreon V in this matchup because of the Zamazentas. We can't hit that with the VMAX. We don't play Path to the Peak or anything like that, so not able to do that. Hand is extremely awkward, though. Oh boy. I think I'm gonna give it the Marnie. I think I'm gonna give it the Marnie here and keep the Crobat. Definitely need to keep the Tool Scrapper, need to keep the evolutions, of course. So I can't give up those. Get a Dower. And then we'll just pass from here. My opponent might not have a turn 2 Brave Blade. They did quick ball away in energy. I was gonna say they didn't even quick ball away in energy, but they did. Yeah, Brave Blade could definitely be happening this turn. We'll see. Oh, there's already the Metal Saucer. All right, Brave Blade. I mean, they could still whiff it. They need a switch card, and they can't use Air Balloon, so it has to be a switch because they put this cape on the active. Our draw, and this is why we want to kind of keep that Crobat around, just in case we get to hands like this, where our only out to draw support, as you can see, is Crobat. So that's why we want to keep the Crobat around in the deck, because it enables all these quick balls to become draw support, right? The Marnie is just a Marnie, so if we draw the Marnie, that's great. But if we draw the Crobat or a quick ball or a quick ball, or hold up, or a quick ball, then all that becomes outs to draw support. That's why I really like, you want to highly value keeping that around versus something like a Marnie. Okay, we do have to give up an Urn here, I think, which I'm not completely against, but I don't love giving up the Urn here. Urn's super big deal, hopefully we don't have to lose any more of them, and we're going for that triple energy here, triple single strike energy to try and KO this station. We also need a Tool Scrapper, so we do need a little bit, but if we just hit it for the turn, that's pretty good as well. If we can just get the hit on the station, wouldn't mind that. I guess I could have Tower of Darkness the Urn, but once again, I like doing it after I draw my cards. Like, it gives me a little bit more information to work with before I make any decisions. Go ahead and play this. Gonna go ahead and grab ourselves another Houndoom, but we're still playing for the 1-hit KO, like I mentioned. Quick ball away the switch, I think. Gonna grab a... No, we want an Umbreon. I was like, yeah, Umbreon works. And then play the Marnie. I could have Tower to Tower, but I do want to keep more towers around to bump their Crystal Caves. All right, we got the Tool Scrapper. We did not get the Single Strike energy yet. So hold on, we can still get there. I don't want to play this for a VMAX yet because we might not want a VMAX. So I'm going to go ahead and Tower of Darkness away a Houndoom. And no Single Strike energy. We were so close. I'm actually not even going to use the Tool Scrapper anymore at this point. We're just going to hold on to it. But we were so close. We were so close. We were so close to getting it. Unfortunate there. We don't even get the attachment return. But we didn't discard an energy, so that's like fine as well. And I'm going to go ahead and bench the other Umbreon V. And then we're just going to go ahead and swing for 200. Yeah, I could play the Tool Scrapper still, right? I could Scrapper the 2 capes, but then they can put more capes on them. So I want to save the Scrapper. I guess then putting another cape here wouldn't be that bad. But then putting another cape here, I don't really love the idea of that because we can actually 1-hit KO as Zamazentas. So I'm going to hold the Scrapper for a turn. We might use it next turn. And they're actually going for a boss to chase my Umbreon here instead. So they're going to get rid of this Umbreon. Then we have to start building up this Umbreon to deal with the Zamazenta. We actually prized an Umbreon V as well, and we are down the ordinary route already. So we only have this one Umbreon V to be able to hit Zamazenta. We can hit it with the Houndooms or even the Crobat actually as well. So we don't have to use Umbreon V, but Umbreon V is the most efficient way to kind of deal with Zamazenta. So that's what we'll probably be doing. I kind of want to hold the hand. I don't feel like we really need to get rid of it. So we're going to go ahead and Single Strike Roar here. And then Single Strike Roar again. And we really only need 2 Houndoom set up, and I definitely like the idea of keeping the other VMAX around. So we're going to go ahead and Tower of Darkness away the Dower. Don't really need it. It's not really that big of a deal anymore. There is a Urn, which we could definitely utilize later on. And yeah, going to keep the Scrapper once again, because I could Scrapper that cape off that bench. I'll go ahead and throw the Sun and Moon badge down here, though. I could Scrapper that cape off this Zamazenta, and that does mean if we get 4 single strike energy on this Umbreon next turn, we can one-hit KO the Zamazenta, but it also means they can just put another cape there, and then we're down a Scrapper. So we want to save the Scrapper for that turn where we go to actually attack into the Pokemon. We're not trying to get too aggressive. We just need to get just aggressive enough. Actually, this Zamazenta is looking a little bit scary. They need to calm down with that. But yeah, we can actually get the 4 energy Umbreon V next turn if our hand sticks, and it's looking like it might. No Marnie, one time. Here comes the Wisdom. Does the Wisdom lead to a Marnie? I'm sure that when they have a 3-card hand, I'm sure they would prefer to play a Research if they get one, right? Crystal Cave comes down. That's fine. And the Swing, the Assault Tackle, so we'll get the one-hit KO on this Zamazenta. This definitely is not a one-hit KO that happens too often, I don't feel like. Because you need all 4 single strike energy. But it's not too hard to set up as well. It's not too hard to get rolling. But yeah, let's do that hard retreat. Let's play that Urn. And let's get some single strike roars going. And yeah, let's get this KO on this Zamazenta. And this Umbreon is actually set up to even deal with a Zacian or something as well coming up. Tool Scrapper, get rid of their tool card. And then I'm going to go ahead and Tower of Darkness away one of these Umbreon Vs. We did get a Capture Energy. I almost want to set up the Crobat to attack is what I'm leaning towards. I almost just want to hold the hand as well. Like, I don't need to put an energy in play. And one of the things I am a little bit fearful of here is stuff getting trapped in the active, right? Because we got this thing with 2 retreat cost. We're hoping to get the other Umbreon V here. We got this thing with 2 retreat cost. So these things could get stuck in the active. So we want to make sure we have enough energy to move anything. I guess this thing can't get stuck in the active because it does have that Sun and Moon badge, which means it can't get bossed. So we could maybe attach to one of the captures here. Just be like, all right, get this on the Houndoom. Cool. There's a Zacian from my opponent. Now they don't have a ton of what's it called left. Metal Saucers. They have 2 left, so they could attack this turn, but I think it is a little bit unlikely. I was like, they don't have something. What is the thing that they don't have? And yeah, Metal Saucers is the thing they don't have a ton of left. So there's a couple ways I can go about winning this game now. They put a second Oranguru in play, which means now I can go one-hit KO active, KO this, or I could go chase this Zacian and just hit it really hard. We don't have the Tool Scrapper yet. I don't know if my other Tool Scrapper is in the deck, but it might be, and we can maybe even draw like almost our whole deck this turn and try and find it. So let's go ahead and use this first. There is a Houndour, there is a Tool Scrapper. The question is, can we draw our whole deck this turn? And I don't think we can quite draw the whole deck. Actually, no, I think we can. So we can go, quick ball away this, get the Houndour. We'll draw 7-2. Yeah, so we can draw the whole deck here and guarantee the Tool Scrapper and KO this Zacian. So we go here, we say yes, then we play the Research, draw the last 7 cards of our deck, and then we will be guaranteed to draw that last Tool Scrapper, remove this cape, and yeah, this is why we play those Scrappers. This is why we play 2 Scrapper in the build, because the Zacian deck is the main one. I mean, Suicune's also out there, and I think Suicune is an insanely powerful deck. Not as popular, though, but yeah. Pretty clean dub here against the Zacian deck. The 4 energy Umbreon V to take out the Zamazenta was huge. But yeah, we're able to put it together. And that's going to do it for these games with the Umbreon deck. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think the deck is pretty good. You just got to be aware of what's going on and very, very, very hyper aware of the prize exchange and like how to protect your prize cards and going after what is your biggest opponent's threat. Like you saw with that Sylveon game where I went after that Urshifu. I was like, that thing cleans up knockouts. We want these Sun and Moon badges to have potential effect. So got to take care of that Urshifu. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you enjoyed the content and you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.